Hello, guys, and welcome back to Trekyards. I'm probably Captain Foley.
Well, since we're all part of this great link that is Trekyards, I mean, I'd assume that we'd all know you are Captain Foley. But if you're out the Great Link, then who can tell? I can tell, but I won't tell.
Yeah, we're talking about changelings today.
Not something I thought we were going to talk about. As in, this was a curveball. Stuart, what happened in the episode?
There was a changeling. It was cool, man. It was a changeling that changes form.
Season 4, Episode 8. They go to a black market bar casino with a back room with sort of weapons, but really he's just an average broker guy. He's not like a weapons guy, he's just a guy. And yeah, there's a card money stealing thief person who's just doing bad things, and throughout the whole episode you're presented with it being several aliens. It turns out to be one alien, and then they try and capture it, and then it shapeshifts a little bit, and then all of a sudden Book says it's a changeling. I'm thinking, is that just a term? Because that's just a wordage. And then we do get a shot, and I'm like, is that or not? So you guys can, well, we can decide, you can decide based on these pictures in a minute. What did you think when the character was actually revealed in its final form, you know?
I was underwhelmed, first of all, because changelings don't look like that. That's a trope, as we're going to talk about, I'm sure, because Odo couldn't master the form. He couldn't master the ears or the nose, and even the female changeling, she chose that look to make Odo feel more comfortable. But apparently this is a thing that they all look like that, and I hate that beyond any reasonable.
So following that logic, someone like Morn, where the whole point of the Morn character in DS9 is he lost his hair because he ate latinum and stored it in his body, so he had latinum poisoning. And so when Discovery shows every character of Morn's race with no hair, it's like saying all Klingons are bald. It's like they're not. There isn't a distinct reason for it. It's just, but if people saw it with him with hair, you'd think, well, that's stupid, with a mullet or with a. So you can't really change the look, even though it doesn't make sense. Kind of a lose-lose situation there.
Yeah, for sure. And not only Discovery is guilty of that, because Prodigy does the same thing with the Morn species. So
I know Dex, actually, because we saw him in the bar.
yes, yeah. So that's just a thing. But hey, no, I when I heard the term changeling, I thought, yeah, it's a metamorph, it's a comaloid, it's a shapeshifter that's been used so many times in Star Trek to the point where every time you see one, it's like, comaloid, I thought you were mythical. Like, really? Because you've seen more in your lifetime, Kirk. But anyway, so yeah, I thought that's what it was. And even when you see it change, it kind of has the changing effect of a changeling from DS9 a little bit.
I mean, let's not give it that credit. It's like
It's like powder.
Yeah, powder. It's not liquid by any stretch. It's a powder fabric, but it's also 1,000 years in the future, a different version of them. I'm not going to say you can't
No, that's
transform
true.
in a different form. So I'm not going to. By definition, it's a changing being. Let's be fair. The Tribble was quite cute. Actually, that was a well done little Tribble moment. Let's be fair.
Yeah, the triple transformation was funny. I did like that part.
Of all the things,
but then it turned into this final form, and it's like, okay, well, right away my brain went, that's not how they should look. Unless there's a species that looks exactly like that. Just saying, like, if you're trying to look human because you're facing a human at the moment, big fail, because it's not. Odo looked like that for a reason. So did the female changeling that was leading the Dominion.
Okay, so my reaction was, didn't know what it was trying to be, and I didn't think they're actually going to go actual DS9 reference for this, but and literally, and I try to find reference, there's two shots of the front of her face. This medium shot, which I was zoomed in, and then when he holds this device in front of her face, where she starts out of focus, goes in focus for about 5 frames, and it cuts away, and she's never in it again. So they play almost no screen time to the character, and that is the best 2 shots I got. Now, luckily, they're okay, but they didn't dwell on it in any way to really. It wasn't a character. It was a plot device moving on. So I was like, are they really going to show for the first time since DS9 a changeling? I don't know. But then I for this episode, I'm like, but there is clearly visual language here. Clearly it's trying to be. And so here's the next picture where I have compared the sort of 4 or 5 changelings, because obviously you've got Odo, you've got the female changeling, you've got the male changeling that tried to kill Odo. And the big other example is the season 7 changeling played by J.G. Hertzler on the right, who was the only other one to have darker hair, different look, and he was one of the other children changeling that was sent into the other quadrants and grew up in his own terms. didn't know who the founders were when he met Odo, and just lived his own life. And so as soon as I put this together, I'm like, oh yeah, it's clearly just a changeling from the Alpha Quadrant that never knew who the founders were. That's why it looks so different, feels so different. It's just, they launched hundreds of children, and that's why the darker hair, and he also has the exact same ponytail, just slightly less. So I'm like, oh, sweet. Yeah. You told me on it. To me, that's a changeling.
Yeah, and I guess I'm fine with that. But that makes me wonder if every other alien that they change into, if you're that alien species, you go like, that doesn't look right. Your tentacles don't look right, or your, like, is every alien that it assumes a form of a little off because it hasn't been trained properly how to shapeshift? You know what I mean? Like, why would it just be the human form or the humanoid form? Because we saw it as a few aliens in this episode.
Flawlessly.
Yeah, and when you're a human and you're looking at this, it's got that weird, the ears, the smooth skin, so as an alien from the other species look at it and go, hey, that's not quite right. It's weird. I get it if, yes, it was one of the ones that was sent off, and is on the far reaches of the galaxy and hasn't been roaming around for 100 years or even 900 years. Who knows? Is it possible it just hasn't found its way back to the Great Link? Sure, but I don't know how I feel about that necessarily.
Well, especially after the burn happened, that would stop all travel. This other J.J. Herzog guy, obviously humanoid, but maintained that. So if this alien met humans on a colony, and then lived there for hundreds of years, etc., found a human-esque form, learned by doing, got the hair, etc., better than Odo. I actually want to give him slight credit. I think the costume also feels vaguely appropriate for Changeling, not literally in the sense that Changelings don't wear much, but the color palette and the kind of fabric kind of says, I can see this being something a Changeling would wear, a classic Changeling,
or one of Khan's men.
Oh, hey, they share a lot of DNA, but obviously you do note the form, but we do see this other Changeling on the bottom, who fights Odo, and how would you explain him looking like that? Given
again, to kind of mirror Odo's look, to maybe throw Odo off or something. I don't know. But
potentially though, and I'd be fine with this because we do see another shot when they find the Changelings. You see an entire raft of them, and they're all the exact same look. So my assumption would kind of be, and I'm fine to say this, that's kind of like the vanilla look that a basic baby Changeling can do, and without training, Odo can reach that. If he's trying to I'm trying to look humanoid. That's basic, because he's not got any discernible extra features. It's just the basic, like vanilla template, and therefore they mimic that with aliens. They don't want to. It's not trying. I can be this without putting any effort in. Haha.
It's the easy, low res version.
Yeah.
They don't have to concentrate so much. If they want to copy somebody exactly, then it's a lot more involved. So.
And then Odo just lives it and doesn't think anything of it. Because I think that would be a fine. Because we see enough changelings that all look the same, and yet can change. That there's kind of a precedent to. Are they all just trying to mimic Odo? I mean, why are they picking? There's a bit. But I also then double down on that to what you said. Why the hell they all have short yellow brown hair, except all exact Odo haircut? That seems odd. There should be different hairstyles if that's just the default form, unless the hair is the default form, and that seems odd. But again, we're just seeing a few sample size.
Yeah, it's fine, but I really thought it was a generic term at first, not literally a changeling from the Great Link.
But now looking at this, you could even see, obviously, the mirroring Odo more. There's even like those cheek extension lines. So I think, there's even like wrinkles on the forehead that they all have, or more so. So I'm actually quite, it feels very intentional, and I'm going to give them, although they haven't done as much on this area. But again, it's different. There's 900 years. It can look different enough. But I was quite relatively pleased. Just maybe this is a hint to more with this character. I doubt it. But to do a makeup for seconds of screen time seems a bit odd to me. But I think as a visual reboot, it's how could you reboot plain skin with a white short haircut? Not much you could do to that. So yeah, I'll give a happy pass. At least for me.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's fair enough. But guys, what do you think of this changeling and the changeling look overall?
Do you think Genu was a changeling? Where are you going to put that flag down on?
Comment down below with your thoughts. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell icon. And join us for lives where we do live reviews and discussions just like this. You guys can take part in those as well.
And if you want to support what we do here and on this channel, all the different videos comparing things, analysing things, reviewing things, and discussing things, then support on Patreon, PayPal, trekyards.com. Join the channel on YouTube, super chatting during the lives, or buy merch down below. But those are all financial, and we thank you in advance. But just commenting and subscribing, all those things do genuinely help. They spread the word, and we generally want to know what you think on these topics. So put your thoughts down below.
And until next time, guys, he's Commander Cocking.
He's Captain Foley.
See you later.
Bye, guys.